Welcome to Farang Angmor Podcast. Level up your learning, one tip at a time. How to ฝึกสมองให้คิดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษไม่ติดแปล You have no idea how excited I am. Starting a podcast is something I've been wanting to do for so many years, but I've never really had the courage to start one. What if it fails? What if nobody wants to listen to it? All these thoughts. But here I am, starting our first episode of this podcast and speaking 90% or maybe 95, 100% in English. And I'm pretty sure I'll make a lot of mistakes along the way, so please bear with me. Still, I hope you will gain something useful from this podcast.Today, we're diving into one of the biggest challenges English learners face, thinking in English without translating everything in your head first. เป็นไหมคะ เป็นเหมือนกันค่ะ Does this sound familiar to you? You want to speak English fluently, super smoothly, but you get stuck translating in your head. Like, คำนี้แปลว่าอะไรนะ How do I say this? จะพูดยังไงแล้วล่ะ By the time you say I think I thought the person you're talking to has already walked away ไปแล้วจ้าเขาไปไกลแล้วจ้า I'm translating in my head right now. I know it can be frustrating, but no worries. Today we are going to tackle this together. Just by tweaking how we learn,you see a lot of improvements in how quickly and naturally you can speak because, let's face it, how we learn is just as important, if not more, than what we learn. So, let's get into it. Before we jump into the tips, let's talk about why we get stuck translating in the first place.I went through the same experience when I was learning English in school. The way most of us learn is through translation. We open up our textbooks, right? And they are filled with Thai translations next to every English word. จดทุกคำเลยค่ะ คำนี้แปลว่าอย่างนี้ คำนี้แปลว่าอย่างนี้ That's what I did. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you did that too. There's nothing wrong with that, but we learn primarily,through memorization. English word equals to this Thai word equals to this English word. At the very beginning, this helps, like when we first learn I เท่ากับฉัน you เท่ากับคุณ house เท่ากับบ้าน But there's something problematic about that because it has limitations in terms of learning to speak fluently.The big reasons why relying on translation all the time might hold us back is number one, some words or phrases in English don't exist in Thai and vice versa. English and Thai come from different cultures and ways of thinking. So some expressions just don't translate perfectly. For example, some Thai words like เกรงใจ ฝากเนื้อฝากตัวด้วยนะคะกตัญญู all these kinds of words, they don't exist in English word, like directly. Or some English word like awkward, bully, American dream, all these like that are deeply rooted in English or American culture. We can try to explain them, but there's no exact translation for that. Number two, a single word can have multiple meanings.Take the word cool, for example. Cool can mean cold, เย็น now, right? But it can also mean awesome, เจ๋ง cool, เจ๋ง Or the word right. It can mean ด้านขวา the right side. It can mean correct, ถูกต้อง Or it can be like human rights, สิทธิ์ นะคะ So it can mean many things, right? It can have multiple translations. Number three,It creates a habit of always needing to translate before speaking. And this is the big one. The more we translate in our head, the more we get stuck in this habit. And this slows us down when we need to communicate quickly. So, should we stop translating altogether? Am I saying that you should never translate again? No, not at all. I'm not saying that at all. In the beginning, some translation is totally fine. It's actually pretty helpful. But once you have got the basics down, like vocabulary and simple sentences, it's time to shift your focus to something else. And that is context. So how do you actually train yourself to think in English? I'm going to share 2 powerful techniques that have helped me, a lot of my students, and I'm sure they will help you too. Tip number 1, learn from the context. Context is everything. When we talk about context, we mean the situation, the surrounding, the environment in which words are used. Instead of memorizing the direct translation of a word, learn how it's used in real life situations. Let's take an example, the word spectacular. I first heard this word from the movie Crazy Rich Asians, and there's this movie scene where there's a character that say, wow, that's spectacular. So instead of memorizing that spectacular equals to น่าตื่นตาตื่นใจสวยงดงามอลังการ instead of memorizing the direct translation, you watch that from a movie scene or maybe a conversation that native speakers had where someone says, wow, that view is spectacular. When you hear it in context, it's easier to remember that you use spectacular when describing something really beautiful, like a landscape or an amazing building. The context makes the meaning stick. You remember it better, right? So for this one, I remember without even knowing what translation it is or how it's being translated into Thai. I remember if I see something beautiful and I want to say, wow, it's beautiful, I say, that's spectacular. Or let's see another example. Let's say you hear someone say, it's a tough call. It's a tough call. That's going to be pretty difficult to translate as well because it's an idiom. But I saw this and I heard this line from the movie, one of my favorite movie, Devil Wears Prada. So in a movie, that movie scene, they're deciding between 2 things that's pretty difficult to decide. So now I know that it's a tough call means making a difficult decision, choosing between 2 things, right? So learning from context helps you understand 3 main things. Number 1, when and how to use the phrase. Number 2, you will remember it better because there's a story or situation attached to it. Number 3, you can apply it more naturally in your conversation. The second tip is to start learning from definitions, not just translations. This means using monolingual dictionaries, English to English dictionaries, แปลอังกฤษเป็นอังกฤษ instead of bilingual ones. แปลไทยเป็นอังกฤษอังกฤษเป็นไทย that's bilingual dictionary. For example, if you don't know what spectacular means, type spectacular meaning into Google. You get the definition, impressive, grand, or beautiful. Now you're learning the word from its meaning in English, not by translating it into Thai. There are great dictionaries like Cambridge, Oxford, or Merriam-Webster, so many other ones that not only give you the meaning but also show you examples, sentences, synonyms, and even pronunciation. This helps you understand how to use the word in various situations. And if you are ever unsure, you can always double check the translation later, but start with the definition first. So you understand the meaning first before jumping right into translation. So let's recap. To stop translating in your head, and start thinking directly in English. Number 1, learn from the context. Watch movies, listen to songs, and observe how words are used in real life situations. Number 2, learn from the definition. Use English to English dictionaries to understand words through their meanings and examples. Try incorporating these two strategies into your daily practice, and I guarantee you will see a big difference. You think faster, speak more naturally, and feel a lot more confident when using English.
Mindset ที่ทำให้สมองเรียนรู้และพัฒนาไวกว่าที่เคย
Welcome back to another episode of Farang Angmor Podcast. Quick question, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, it's too hard for someone like me, or I was not born to do this? มันยากเกินไปสำหรับคนอย่างเราคงไม่ได้เกิดมาเพื่อสิ่งนี้ Is that you? Because that was me. What if your abilities or talents aren't the only things that matter? And trying hard alone isn't enough either. So, what determines whether someone will succeed or fail? The answer is mindset. You will hear me say the word multiple times throughout this podcast. Now, you might be wondering, why are we talking about mindset on a podcast about language learning and communication? Well, because mindset is at the very foundation of learning and development. Whether you want to improve your English, excel in your job, or achieve personal goals, how you understand and develop your mindset dictates a lot of things. So in this episode, I would like to share my take on my favorite book. This is Mindset by Carol Dweck, a life-changing piece of research that hugely impacted education and personal development. So, what exactly is mindset? Carol Dweck, who is a researcher and psychologist at Stanford University, she conducted a number of studies for over 30 years to understand why some people succeed while others fail. And through her work, she discovered something profound. Quote unquote, she said in this book, "For 30 years, my research has shown that the view you adopt for yourself profoundly affects the way you lead your life." The view she talks about is called mindset. Essentially, the way you think about yourself, your abilities, and the world around you. And there are mainly two types of mindset in this book, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Let's break these down. Fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe their abilities, intelligence, or talents are set in stone. They're never gonna change. เป็นแบบนี้แหละ คงที่อยู่แบบนี้ They think I'm either good at something or I'm not, and nothing will change that. They will spend their time proving themselves and avoiding failure because making mistakes make them feel inadequate. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset believe that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and experience. They know that while we all start with different strengths, everyone has the potential to improve. A person with a growth mindset believes that their true potential can't be measured. No one can tell them how far they can go because their effort, practice, and persistence will shape their success. An interesting study compares students with a growth mindset and those with a fixed mindset to see how their math grades change from 7th to 8th grade ตั้งแต่ม.1 ไปจนถึงม.2 แล้วก็แตกต่างกันยังไงบ้าง At the beginning, both groups had similar scores. They start off quite similar. However, over time, students with a growth mindset who believed they could improve their intelligence show steady improvement in their grades. Keeps getting higher and higher. By the end of 8th grade, their scores had increased significantly. In contrast, students with a fixed mindset who believe their intelligence was fixed either saw no improvement or experience a decline in their performance. Believing you can grow and improve leads to better results, especially in the long run. This is where it gets interesting. Your mindset not only shapes how you think, but also how you react to challenges, difficulties, and failures. Here's how two mindsets differ. Fixed mindset. When faced with difficulties, someone with a fixed mindset might say, this is too hard, it's not for me, or I'm not smart enough for this. They avoid challenges because they don't want to risk looking bad or failing because that would prove that they are not capable of doing it. In contrast, someone with a growth mindset says, the harder it is, the more I will learn. Or mistakes are part of the process. They see challenges as opportunities to grow, not as proof of failure. It's not only just about working harder, it's about being open to learning, adjusting, and finding new ways to solve problems. That's what makes growth mindset people stick with challenges longer. They actually enjoy the process of solving problems. But how do I know which mindset I have now? Let's do a fun quiz. I will give you some statements and I want you to pick the one that resonates with you the most. Number 1. Your intelligence is something very basic about you that you can't change much. Number 2. You can learn new things, but you can't really change how intelligent you are. Number 3. No matter how much intelligence you have, you can always improve it. Number 4. You can always substantially change how intelligent you are. Which one do you think describes you the most? Well, the first two statements, number 1 and 2, reflect the thinking of a fixed mindset, while the last two, number 3 and number 4 statements, are more in line with the growth mindset. Let's try another one. Just now it was more about intelligence and ability. This time it's more about personality. A. You are a certain kind of person and there is not much that can be done to really change that. B. No matter what kind of person you are, you can always change substantially. C. You can do things differently, but the important parts of who you are can't really be changed. D. You can always change basic things about the kind of person you are. Take your time with it. Now, statements A and C are what someone with a fixed mindset might believe, whereas statements B and D are more aligned with a growth mindset. Now, you might be thinking, well, it depends. Sometimes I feel like I have a fixed mindset and other times I have a growth mindset, and you would be absolutely right. Carol Dweck explains in the book that most of us have a mix of both. It can vary depending on which area of life we're talking about and also the situation that we are talking about. The key is to focus on developing more of a growth mindset, especially in areas where we need it the most. So, how do we start shifting toward a growth mindset? Here are 4 steps recommended in the book. Number 1, embrace your fixed mindset. Why? You just said fixed mindset is not good for me. มันไม่ได้ผิดบาปอะไรนะคะ It's totally okay to have a fixed mindset in some areas. Acknowledge it and be aware of the triggers that it bring out. Number 2, become aware of your fixed mindset triggers. What thoughts or fears make you feel stuck? Maybe you're worried about looking stupid or comparing yourself to others. What are your triggers? Number 3, name your fixed mindset persona. Give it a funny, memorable name. สมรึมกึมกึยสมลักก็แก๊ก any name that you feel like oh this is kind of funny so you can call it out yeah so you can identify when it shows up and challenge it you're here I know you and you can no longer influence me now you know when it comes up right and number 4 is to confront your fixed mindset when things get tough you can remind yourself that you have the choice to think and react differently. Now you might be feeling a more fixed mindset, like thinking, but you can always change towards more growth mindset. Another tip that I really like is the power of yet. If you catch yourself saying, I'm not good at something, I'm not good at English, I'm not good at blah blah blah, try adding the word yet to the end of the sentence. I'm not good at this yet, but I can work at it and let me show you the new me in the next 3 months when I'm good at this or I got better at this. You might not have the ability or experience right now, but with practice and effort, you can develop the capacity to do it. This small shift can open up the possibility for growth. Whether you're learning English, pursuing a career, or just trying to improve, remember, it's not about where you start, but how you approach the journey. You're fully capable of developing a growth mindset and achieving anything you set your mind to. And when things get tough, just remember you're not there yet, but you're getting closer every day. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, and I'm always cheering you on.
3 เคล็ดลับหลอกสมองให้อยากและตั้งใจเรียนภาษาได้ทุกวัน
Welcome to a special episode of Farang Angmor Podcast. This is another episode in our English brain soaking series. Wow. เอาสมองของเราไปจุ่มในภาษาอังกฤษ I will be reading and discussing interesting English articles or books so we can learn something new together. You get to improve your listening skills and pick up powerful learning and self-development tips at the same time. Today's article is from ef.com or Education First, written by Maria Innes. And the title is 3 Ways to Trick Your Brain into Learning a New Language หลอกสมองของเราเนี่ยให้อยากเรียนภาษาหรือตั้งใจเรียนภาษา Wow. This one is a perfect reading for us, and there are practical tips from someone who's actually learned 4 languages from scratch, from zero. คนเขียนเนี่ยคือเขาเรียน4ภาษาจากศูนย์เลยค่ะ Let's see what tricks she recommends for getting through those tough moments when your brain just doesn't want to cooperate เวลาที่สมองของเรามันไม่อยากเรียนรู้เลยทำยังไงให้กระตุ้นให้มันอยากเรียนรู้มากยิ่งขึ้นนะคะ Ready to soak your brain in English? Let's go. Number 1, create a sense of urgency. The article starts with a real life challenge. We all want to learn a language, but we're tired. เหนื่อยแล้ว After a long day at work or school, your brain might just say, nope, not today. ไม่ไหวแล้ววันนี้ยังก่อน That's because your brain doesn't want to spend extra energy unless it has to. So here's what Maria suggests to trick your brain into action. Join an actual class with human beings, with real people, online, offline, or even a weekend workshop. The point is to have someone holding you accountable. A teacher, classmates, or schedule. This adds a healthy kind of pressure. Track your progress and share it. Try recording your voice or a video to track how you're improving. You could also share a short piece of writing or your favorite expressions, sentences on social media. Maria reminds us there's a big language learning community out there to cheer you on, like the one with Farang Angmor. Give your brain no chance to escape your target language. If you're learning English, that's your target language. If you're learning Chinese, that's your target language. Now, this is a big one. Fill your day with little language moments. Listen to music in your target language on your commute. ระหว่างเดินทางไปทำงานไปโรงเรียนก็ฟังเพลงในภาษานั้นๆ Watch Netflix shows or movies in that language. Read a magazine or blog while you eat breakfast. Label objects around your house with post-it notes. Even post on social media using your target language, whether it's captions, stories. The goal? Your brain starts to believe, okay, this language is all around me. I need to use it. Number 2, make your learning as personal as possible. Maria explains why it's so easy to forget things we have just learned. It's because our brains forget what isn't useful or interesting. So, the mission here is simple. Trick your brain into thinking that these foreign words are meaningful and necessarily. Here's how. Use your own photos. Why? Instead of using a stock photo or dictionary translation แทนที่จะใช้เป็นรูปแบบจากอินเทอร์เน็ตทั่วไปหรือเขียนแค่คำแปล For a flashcard like dog, take a photo of your own dog and use the note-taking app. Your brain connects better with real, emotional, familiar things. แทนที่จะเอารูปจากไหนไม่รู้ก็เอาเป็นรูปที่อยู่ในชีวิตจริงของเราเป็นสุนัขของเราสุนัขของเพื่อนเรา Choose key expressions over lists. Don't start by memorizing long lists of random words. Start with words and expressions that are about you. Your job, your family, your routine. You will use them more, and that helps with remembering them longer. Write about yourself as soon as possible. Use new vocabulary to describe your real life, your feelings, your story, your opinions. Textbooks examples are useful, but they are just the start. The goal is to use the language naturally in ways that are relevant to your life. Number 3, learn to repeat in a way that actually works. Maria says some people remember verb charts they learned years ago, but can't actually use the verbs. จำได้เลย verb ช่อง 1 ช่อง 2 ช่อง 3 ท่องมาตั้งแต่ประถมยันมัธยมแต่ว่าใช้ไม่เป็น That's because repeating for the sake of repeating isn't enough. So, what is the best kind of repetition? Get familiar with spaced repetition. Gabriel Weiner, the author of this book, Fluent Forever, explains it like this. Repeat vocabulary over time with longer and longer gaps between each review. That way, your brain sees the word
just before it forgets it. And that helps you remember it for good. Weiner claims that in just 4 months, with 30 minutes a day, you can learn and retain 3,600 flashcards with 90 to 95% accuracy. Amazing, right? Be more visual. Go back to using images, not only your own photos, or you can use memes like the funny ones or AI-generated pictures. Your brain loves visuals, especially once it connects to personal experiences. Repeat and apply what you learn immediately. Repeating a word is one thing. Using it in a conversation is another. Talking to a teacher, classmate, or a study group. Even writing 10 sentences using a new word helps cement it in your memory. The key takeaway? Repetition is powerful only when it's spaced, meaningful, and applied. Let's quickly review the 3 ways to trick your brain into learning a new language, according to Maria Innes. Number 1, create a sense of urgency. Number 2, make your learning as personal as possible. And number 3, learn to repeat in a way that actually works. I hope you enjoy learning these practical ways to boost your brain power and stay motivated in your English journey. Which trick are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this episode, please share it with a friend or a coworker who's also trying to get better at learning English. Language learning isn't always about doing more. It's about doing it differently with heart, curiosity, and a little bit of strategy. เทคนิคทำให้สมองจำศัพท์แม่นไม่มีลืม
Welcome back to Farang Angmor Podcast.
If you have ever thought to yourself, I want to be good at English, but the words are just too many. คำมันเยอะไปหมดเลย I learned them today and forget them tomorrow. เดี๋ยวก็ลืมแล้ว I hear you. Today's episode is all about one of the biggest struggles in language learning, how to remember vocabulary and actually make it stick. No more memorizing and forgetting. ทำยังไงให้แบบจำแล้วมันอยู่ได้นานๆอยู่ได้ตลอดไป We are going to talk about 3 powerful research-backed techniques. We're scientific people here. เป็นคนแบบรักงานวิจัย that will help you remember new words forever, or at least way longer than you do now. Ready? Let's go. Number 1, use images. Your brain loves pictures. Let me take you to this fascinating study. Researchers show people 612 magazine pictures and then tested them later on which ones they had seen before. เอารูปมาเปิดแล้วครับอันนี้เคยดูหรือยัง How well do you think they remember? Any guess? 70? 80%? 98.5%. Almost perfect. That tells us something big. your brain is ridiculously good at remembering images. So, if you want to remember a word like apple, don't just look at the letters A-P-P-L-E. Visualize it. See the apple. See yourself eating it. Or paste a picture next to the word in your notebook. The more you connect the word to an actual image or moment in your life, the easier it will stay in your head. Number 2, create personal connections. Make it about you. Here's a memory trick backed by research, and it works like magic. If you make a word personal, you will remember it way better. In 1972, two researchers, Craig and Lockhart, introduced something called the level of processing. It explains how deeply we process information and how that affects memory. There are 3 main levels. Structure. You remember what a word looks like. For example, the word apple is spelled A-P-P-L-E. This is the most basic level, yeah? So you might remember it, but not so well. Next, sound. You remember how it sounds. Apple, apple. And the highest level is meaning. You remember what it means. Oh, apple, a fruit, something you eat, has red color. But the most powerful level, even beyond meaning, it's when the word connects to you, your life, your memories, your feelings. This is called the self-reference effect. Research shows you are 50% more likely to remember something when it is personal. So here's your tip. Don't just memorize new words. Make them yours. Use them in your own sentence. Think of a personal memory. Say them out loud while talking about your day. The more personal it feels, the more unforgettable it becomes. Number 3, the testing effect. Don't just review, recall. Most people try to remember new words by rereading them over and over. คืออ่านซ้ำๆให้มันจำได้ง่ายขึ้น But the secret to long-term memory? Testing yourself. Yes, quizzing actually helps your brain remember things better. In one study, learners who tested themselves remember 67% of the information. Those who just reread, only 45%. This is called the testing effect or active recall. When you force your brain to pull out information instead of just staring at it, the memory gets stronger. ยิ่งเราพยายามเค้นข้อมูลที่อยู่ในหัวเนี่ยออกมาเท่าไหร่เราจะยิ่งจำได้ดีดึงออกมาใช้ได้ง่ายมากยิ่งขึ้น You train your brain to retrieve, not just store. ไม่ใช่แค่เอาใส่เข้าไปแต่ดึงออกมาได้เก่งขึ้น So, how can you use this? Write flashcards and test yourself. Hide the translations and try to remember them. Or after watching a video, write down all the words you remember or summarize the content. And yes, it's harder than just rereading or rewatching the content. And that's why it works like magic. Now, imagine this. You learn the word generous. You see a photo of someone giving food to the homeless. That's the image. You write sentences. My sister is generous. She always brings me snacks without asking. That's personal connection. Then you test yourself a day later by trying to recall what the word was without looking. That's the testing effect. That's it. You just triple your memory power. โอ้โหคูณ3 Your brain is more powerful than you think. You just need to feed it the right way. Instead of trying to memorize everything, make it visual, make it personal, make it active. You can listen to this podcast anywhere, anytime on your favorite platform. Once you have listened to this episode, I would love to hear what you think. Let me know how we can improve, what topics you want to hear next, or any other thoughts you have got to help us make this podcast even better. And that's it for today. Bye. And this is Farang Angmor Podcast. Until next time, happy learning.